Obi-Wan, Khan-Obi. Obi, meaning a ruler. Hey, Obi, a central building in an Igbo homestead. We're talking Igbo like Hebrew, like Hebrew. One used most commonly as a place for reception of guests. As such, it can also be looked at symbolically as a metaphor for the most important part or the heart bone. So OB connects directly with the heart bone. It is the title of a ruler, otherwise almost exclusively taken to be an aristocratic title. Now we're talking nobility, ruler among the tribe. So the ruler of the tribe among the tribe is an Obi. The connection with the Hebrew is very interesting. Very interesting. OB as a ruler among the tribe, meaning either elder in the first instance or chief in the second. Obi-Wang, Khan-Obi, right? I mean, they just say Obi-Wan Kenobi. We say Obi-Wan Khan-Obi, right? With the Wang meaning, well, from familyeducation.com, meaning an origin of Wang. From a character, Chinese, it's Chinese or kana, meaning prince or king. And it's interesting how all these are interchangeable. You know, a lot of times when I hear Khan, they also say that it's referring to a prince. But Khan is specifically referring to, you know what they say. Oh yeah, we're gonna get back on that Shishia. We're gonna talk Shishia a little bit. Wang Kong was given to, or the title Wang Kong was given to Ta Gru. Now this Wang is also, spelled or pronounced Ong, or even A-N-G, Ong. They take the W, sometimes they make it silent, or just different spellings, but Wang means king or prince, right? So Wang means king or prince. All right, we got it over here. At family education, that Wang means prince. So prince or king. Khan. Well, let's ask Alexa. Hey, Alexa, Alexa, what does Khan mean? Alexa knows everything, man. Alexa say, hey, man, it's Prester John 84. I'm going to do that work. I'm going to put that work in, too, for the tribe, man. Hey, welcome to the 84th installment of the Prester John investigation. Halal HaWah. Obi-Wan Khan. Obi. How y'all reeling? How y'all reeling? I know how you feeling. My noggin, how are you reeling? How you really reeling? How's my cons flowing? Because what does a con mean, Alexa? In the early days in the Central Eurasian steppes, a Khan was as ruler, chief, tribal leader. So a Khan and Obi have a lot to do with each other. Yeah, man. Khan is a surname meaning little boat in German. Oh, okay. This kind of sounds like canoe. Like dragon canoe, but we're going to get on them Chickamauga. We're going to get on that Tecumseh War, and we're going to get on the more. It's Prester 84. Khan, surname, meaning little boat, or are we talking a canoe, a canoe? Uh-oh. In German, it is Cohen, or excuse me, Shalak. In Hebrew, it is Cohen. Now they try to spell Cohen with a C now, but it's with a K. They just try to disguise that it's actually Khan, because they don't want you to make a connection between the Mongol Khan and the Jews, right? Because we know that the Judah are the Khan, but they say Cohen because they don't want you to put the Mongol history and the Hebrew history, especially with the American history, right? But in this investigation, we always put the Mongol history with the Hebrew biblical history, with the indigenous American history, because it all seems to be one and the same, all taking place right here, man, in India. Superior. Khan means ruler, chief, tribal leader. Koan is generally interchangeable with Khan. So why do they change it to Koan? Why are they trying to hide the Khan? Why do they change it to American? Why are they trying to hide the American? Amaru Khan. But Khan, what you need to know is that Wang Khan, with Khan referring to a priest. Oh, thank you, Alexa. You all right. Ruler, chief, tribal, leader. Khan in Hebrew, Khan means priest. Well, let's stick with the Hebrew, shall we? Because now we got a priest and Khan. And now we got a, king or prince in Wang. So let's put this together, this Obi-Wang Khan-Obi. This Judah or Jedi Obi ruler. So this ruler, this heart bone, right? This title that this character in Star Wars is having is literally, chief or, ruling, ruling priest, Wang, or, chief priest, priest king priest, you know what I mean? So this priest king, this ruling priest king ruler, Obi-Wan Khan-Obi, is really emphasizing, this title, this rulership, connecting with the elder, connecting with the chief, connecting with the prince. Ezekiel 37, David is prince forever, right? Prince or Wang. We're just talking about the Wang clan. Obi-Wan. Yeah. They say Obi-Wan. Wow. Ruling chief priest. Who's a ruler? Obi-Wan Khan-Obi. Alright. Having fun with this Wang Khan. Obi. Wang Khan. Obi. Right. Alexis, what does Khan mean? Yeah, we're just talking about the priest, man. We're just talking about the Hebrew. So no matter how much they try to disguise it into Cohen today, we're just talking the priesthood of Israel. Obi-Wan Khan-Obi. Right in your face, bone. Very interesting, though. You know, because I do want to remember for some reason. Philostrosius, in fact, knew so little about the legend of Mosak. Yeah, I'm just talking about Obi-Wan Khan-Obi. Although Mosak. And let's back it up, man. We were in the Becoming Christian, huh? The Conversion of Roman Cappadocia by Raymond Van Dam. You want to talk some damn dams too, man. It's all happening over here, man. Mosak, the founder of the Cappadocians, right? Yeah, I know it seems like it has nothing to do with the Mexica people in Peru, right? It seems like it has nothing to do with the Muscogee, right? It seems like all this is all just different stuff, but surf the wave, my nani. It's about to get real, and I mean real. It's about to be one of the most comprehensive Prester John wave surfs of all time. And we're getting it right here in 84. Lego. Okay. So when he mentioned Mazaka, the original name for the city. What city? We're talking Cappadocia. Right? We're talking Byzantine Empire. Just follow me now. We're going to dip slide through the dark ages. 1300s, 1400s. Remember them chronological time shifts. Remember all this shifting going on. Talking Philostrosius. In his ecclesiastical history, Philostrosius was hence both ecumenical and local. He included many tidbits of odd information about biblical events and the Roman Empire. And he was interested in legends about Cappadocia. When he mentioned Mazaka, the original name for the city that became Khazari, he noted that this name was derived from Mosak, the founder of the Cappadocians. Mosak's name suggests some sort of Shemitic derivation, right? So they knew that this Mosak had a Shemitic foundation. We're talking about a foundational legend. And his reputation as the founder of Cappadocians seems to hint at a foundational legend for the region that was older than the adoption of Greek myths. So before their Zeus and all their stuff, before their Greekism, all their Jupiter-isms on you, this is older than all their Greek mythology. Wow. That means it's a foundational legend. In the early Roman Empire, people outside Cappadocia had heard of Mosak too. The Jewish historian Josephus even tried to fit him into biblical genealogy. Now, why would he say tried to fit him into? as if he didn't belong in the genealogies, at least the ones that, he was being fit into. As if he just didn't belong in that genealogy, right? Remember what Josephus said about Meshach? How is he equating Mosach with Meshach, and why did they change the name from Mosach? I mean, it became what, Cappadocia? I mean, we're gonna read about it. It's no longer called Mosach. It's no longer even called Mazaka. It eventually became Khazars, right? So now you got the Khazars, and you're giving these people a bad rap who's claiming to be Khazars, or, oh, these are the Khazars. These are not the original Khazaria. Because the original Khazaria connected with the tribes of Moses, the Mashika, the Mosa, the Mazaka. And the name Mazaka came through a swerving, so it's back to Mosa, back to Moses. Why are they doing all this name changing, right? And why did Josephus try to fit him into biblical genealogies by equating him with Meshach, one of the grandsons of Noah? Except, as you'll see, he slid him into Japheth's lineage. At least that's what they assume. Moses ain't got nothing to do with Japheth's lineage. But they can't tell you that this is Mosach, the founder of the Cappadocians, because then it puts a hard dot on their timeline, and it makes them have to look at this Byzantine Empire as the time period, like Anatoly Fomenko was breaking down, where it's all happening at, after the 900s. After the 900s, we're going to get that famous snippet, that parallel timelines in history one time for the Templar, man. Can't get tired of hearing this, man. They said all the real history's popping off after the 900s, and it's being duplicated back into the past. Wrap your noodle around that. The Jewish historian Josephus even tried to fit him into biblical genealogies by equating him with Meshach. He's equating him. That means he's saying Moses, Mosach, Mazaka is Meshach. Although Mosach is an intriguing primal ancestor. Moses is an intriguing primal ancestor, ain't he? Prime. Isn't he intriguing? He unfortunately remains completely obscure. You know what obscure means? Nobody heard of him. And you say everybody heard of Moses, but they ain't heard of Mosach, the founder of the Cappadocians, right? Or the Mosach, this founder in Mazaka, right? They ain't heard about this Byzantine connection with Moses. They heard about, whatever the narrative and the timeline he's being put in and all that. But the obscure situation happened with this primal ancestor, with this foundational legend. It's very obscure. Completely obscure. Philostrosius, in fact, knew so little about Moses, so little about Mosai, so little about the legend that he could not make up the consonants and vowels in order to make sense of the postulated link between the city's name of Mazaka and Mosach's name. He just knew so little, couldn't match up the vowels and the consonants, and somehow the city's name of Mazaka and Mosach's name, he couldn't connect those two. So he shrugged and invented invented a makeshift phonetic transfer. Managa, what does it mean? It means you boldface just changed up a few syllables and consonants, vowels and consonants to reach a new conclusion. And what is that? He changed it from Mosak to Mazaka. Now that's going to lose a lot of people in translation. Now you don't see Moses at all, really, but the Mosak is right in your face. So that gets you out the Moses flow because someone decided to shrug it off and invent a phonetic makeshift transfer to change the city's name from Mosak to Mazaka. In your face. But we're going to read about what Josephus, what kind of hint he gave again, and we're going to bring it on in to Tecumseh. This is Prester John 84. So he shrugged and invented a makeshift phonetic transfer. Quote, after the passage of time, the city was called Mazaka through a swerve. Swerving. Switched it up, huh? Switched it up, crossed you over, right? Swerved on you. In the latter Roman Empire, all that survived of whatever legends there may have been about Moses, about Mosak, were his name. Remember this Shemitic connection, this derivation, right? They already told you there's a Shemitic derivation connecting with Mosak. But all that survived after this swerving, in the latter Roman Empire, all that survived, Managi, may have been, or about Mosak were his name, his reputation, and his enigmatic connection with the name of the city. But the myth of Mosak, the founder, was a lost memory, just like HaWah. Right? They forgot about the name HaWah. They forgot about Mosak. A fragment of an abandoned past. Everything about you is history, right? It's just gone. They swerved on us, swerved on our timelines. Got us looking in the BCs for Mosak. Lost memory, a fragment of an abandoned past, a casualty of the adoption of Greek mythology, because Moses predates Greek mythology. But now, it's a casualty of the adoption of Greek mythology, the imposition of Roman rule, or the expansion of Christianity. It's a casualty of all these things. Greek mythology killed Mosak, the founder. Roman rule killed Mosak, the founder. The expansion of Christianity, well, here we go with a new timeline. Here we go to the New Testament, new everything, right? It killed Mosak, the founder. It killed the foundational legend. In a society that defined itself in Greekness, Romanness, and Christianity, Mosak, the founder, had become meaningless, man. We're just talking Mazaka. Through a swerving, though. Through a swerving. And if we're talking Mosak and we're talking Meshach, then we're also talking Josephus, right? Bring in old Joe. Bring in old Big Joe. Come on, Joe. You got something to say? Book number 1, chapter 6. We're reading out the works of Josephus, book 1, chapter 6. Okay, let's get it. And we got this, man. We connected this. We're connecting it, throughout years of recon. We swerved through here before, but let's see this with a dragon flitter. So Josephus starts off talking about the grandchildren of Noah. He's breaking down these nations. Japheth, the son of Noah, had 7 sons. They inhabited so that beginning at the mountain Taurus and Amanus, they proceeded along Asia, right? Which one? As far as the river Tansis, and along Europe to Cadiz, and settling themselves on the lands which they light upon, which none had inhabited before. They called the nations by their own names, for Gomer founded those from the Greeks now called the Galatians, or Gauls. But a lot of people don't connect these Gauls, especially the Gauls that they call barbarians, and these, sons of Gomer, sons of Japheth, with this Galatian situation that's popping up in the New Test, right? But were then called Gomerites. Magog founded those that from him were called the Magogites, but who are by the Greeks called the Scythians. Okay. Now as to Javan and Madai, the sons of Japheth, from Madai came the Medes, who are called the Medes by the Greeks, but from Javan, Ionia, and all the Grecians are derived. Thobal founded the Thobalites, who are now called the Iberes. And the Mosakini or Mosakani were founded by Mosak. Now they are the Cappadocians or the Khazars. Now he don't stop there. I mean, he came, out of nowhere with this Mosakini. Don't really know any lineage on him, but here comes Mosakini, who's founded. These Mosakini were founded by Mosak. So Mosak just literally comes out of nowhere, man. You don't know if he's still talking about the sons of Japheth. He's going through Javan and Medai and all that, and Thobal. And remember what this author here, Raymond Van Dam, said. What is Josephus doing? Huh? What are you doing, JoJo? Say it ain't so, Joe. Joe over here is fitting in Mosak. He even tried to fit him into biblical genealogies by equating him with Meshach, right? Sliding Moses in right here. Then he says there is a mark on their ancient denomination. Well, we know a mark is a tau, right? A mark is a sign. What are you saying, Joe? There's also a mark on these Mosaks. We just read that this is Mosak, the founder. Well, they changed to Mazaka, right? It says there's even a mark of their ancient of their ancient denomination still to be shown. So this is prophetic talk. This is futuristic talk, still to be shown in the future. For there is even now among them a city called Mazaka. Mazaka through a swerving. After the passage of time, the city was called Mazaka through a swerving. I'm just correlating This document here by Raymond Van Dam with Josephus talk, right? Because they're both talking Mosaka. We're just getting started, man. Trust me. This is about to go wow. This is about to be wowzers. Wowzers after wowzers. Let's get it. We're mind blasting my knockers right now. We're mind blasting my knockers. It's all happening. If you ain't having fun, if you're having a good time, if you're not having a Tawab time right now, noggin, somebody's going to kick you in your chest bone to get you up out this classroom. Because this is all popping off for the Nagas that's been putting in that work. Drop Nation been putting in all that work, all these links, all this investigation throughout the years. It's why we have arrived here, man. Years of recon. We don't even rush it, man. We just do it when it feels good, when it feels right. Let's go. There's a mark on their ancient denomination still to be shown, for there's even among them now a city called Mazaka, which may inform, I love this part, which may inform those that are able to understand. Come on, man. What is, say it ain't so, Joe. What are you talking about? What is Joe talking about? For Josephus, what you talking about? I don't hear him talking about no other bloodlines like this. Shalak, man. I'm just been up reconning. Really, it's been like 3 days, man. I ain't been a lot of sleep, but I just been popping off just, trying to categorize all this drop. It's been a lot of drop. Coming, writing from Udall, love to Club A and all the fence building squad. We still got Nagas with boots to the ground. Please continue to, support the GoFundMe for the fence building flow. Click the links, man, and please continue to support. We got Nagas that really, really need, so much, just, all the support we can, bring to a Naga at this time, man. Nagas is doing above and beyond, I get speechless even talking about it. They giving everything to get this shelter up, to get this fence up, to, give a Naga hope. So if you can help a Naga with their gas going to and from Joy World, or, food, healthy food, just, a warm, cozy, bed to lie down in after a long day's work. Nagas on the front line could really use you. So code keepers continue to mount up, put a dub on it, 10, 20, 30, whatever you put in. And just continue to do that for the Nagas. Enjoy the world. Please click those links for real. And it's nonstop, man. Like, it's all happening. Our teams are getting more and more frequent, as we touch a great checkpoint, over and over again for Joy World. The water to you, code keepers, the water drop nation. For those that are able to understand, we popping off, man. Yeah, what does this mean? This is amazing every time I look at it, because it's a challenge. Do you understand? Drop Nation, are you able to understand? Can we by now understand? Can we understand by now? So that was the entire nation was once called. Mazaka was what the entire nation was once called. So then it goes on to theories, also called those who ruled over durations, and it just leaves out of all that mystery. First, it's talking about ancient denominations for those that may, understand, and then it just bounces into something else. So this is, to me, one of the key breadcrumbs, teasers, what I'm saying, throughout our investigation. This Mazaka joint, this challenge from Josephus really kind of, put a battery in our back, man. We say, no, we got to understand. Matter of fact, we got to overstand and understand what Josephus talking about. What mark is on the ancient denomination of these people? What sign is connected with this Mosai? And how was it that the entire nation was once called after Moses? I mean, he said the entire nation, right? Was he just talking about that one city? The city whose name was changed through a makeshift phonetic transfer? Through a swerving? The myth of Mossak, the founder, was a lost memory, a fragment of an abandoned past, a casualty of the adoption of Greek mythology, the imposition of Roman rule, the expansion of Christianity killed the foundational memory. It became a lost memory because of all this hijack. Because the Greek power and the Roman power and the Christian power are all one and the same as the Egyptian power, as the Atlantis power. Hijack 101. Mosaic became meaningless. We're just talking Meshach, right? Because he's trying to fit him in to this, Meshach situation. Josephus even tried to fit him into the biblical genealogies by equating him with Meshach. Remember, Graham Hancock, broke down a lot to do with these Phoenicians and connected it with some of the Sanskrit flow. We talking Khan, and he starts connecting this Ka people, Even Mark Amaru and the Serpents of Wisdom connects this Ka with the dragon, you know what I mean? Interesting right here. Graham Hancock's talking about. He says, most of us know that Javan settled the Grecian Isles. Japheth, the son of Noah, is referred to in the Hindu scriptures as Yapeti, Yayati. He is also Jupiter, Zeus, or the Hindu Dew Jupiter. I mean, we just surfing the wave at this point, man. Is Josephus Jupiter? Is Josephus Zeus? I mean, these are the things that make you go, all right. So what are we saying? I mean, if Japheth is Jupiter, then who is Shem? Who is Ham? I mean, it's going crazy, man. We've equated Ham and Zeus, not necessarily Japheth and Zeus. So Graham Hancock saying he is also Jupiter, Zeus, and the Hindu Dew, Pitar, like that Peter. So, you get this Simon Peter, this Pitar, yeah. It start to, it could be something, could be nothing, this Pitar, right? But Lord of the Sky, the actual Sanskrit translation of Japheth or Yapeti, is father of the horse tribes. The horse tribes were the North Indian Yadavas, Yaduve, Yahudivas, who colonized the entire earth. As leaders, they were known as Kati, Hati, Kad, Ketu, Shetu, Hari, Kasi, Hurry. Similar terms. Reminds you of the Katai, right? The Kara Katai we've been digging on. Or the Cathay. What does this Katai have to do with Cathay? As the general, or as the common people, they were just Ka, or Ka with a Kha, like Katai, let's go. Or America, Ka, Khan, Khan. All right, so for example, among the Aztecs, the common people were the Azteca, Azteca, the gentility or ruling class were the Aztecatu, like it's a co-op. The common class of Toltecs were the Tolteca. The ruling class was the Toltecaatu. These class distinctions existed all over the ancient world. So I love how, that Ka, is really connected. Hey, shout out to Khan Kai battle doing his thing, man. Popping off, graduating, man. Headed to Hawaii. Man, a true to life, student, not just of the game, not just of the hoop game, man, but just, of the Khan vision. As a student of the Khan vision, hey, hop the Kai battle, man. What it do, man? Hey, shout out to the battles, man. Top at Zion, Brother Nature, Chris, Junior, man, CJ battle, man. What it do? Aqua Sam, OXB, man, we popping off. This my fence building squad. We popping off, man. Five Eyes, but we out of here, man. Dizzle, J-Law, we out of here, man. Let's get it. Abiyah and Zakaya, we out of here. Let's go, Charmaine, we out of here. My fence builders are all the way up. We on that car flow. We on that kata, that karate. Let's go. These Hayas or Katis were the mariners cast with the exclusive rights to control the seas of the world. Right? Back to this mooring, right? We're going to connect it all together, man. Anyone not belonging to this caste were put to death if they were caught on the high seas, just as nations today are going to war over oil. In ancient days, there were nations wanting to challenge the Phoenicians' caste privileges, and the Romans did it successfully. They said, man, we tired of y'all controlling the seas. We gonna challenge it, man. We gonna challenge it. Just picking it up right here, it says the barbarous people to whom the Sagistan or Perseus referred to in the Phoenician slave caste, right? So when they keep talking these slave castes, I mean, it's exactly what they would consider us today if we're not ruling. Either you're ruling or you're a slave, right? So, whether Hebrews, did they come in ruling, throughout Babylon, and, they rose. We had Nagas that rose up to be, head Khan in charge, whether you're talking Egypt, whether you're talking, Babylon exile and the exilarchs, you know what I'm saying? But overall, as a nation, they would have considered them at that time a slave caste, going into captivity in Babylon. So he's talking about these Tyres, these Tubals, and these Meshechs, right? Back to the Meshech, right? Because, I'm talking Meshech because they talking Meshech, right? Josephus tried to fit him into biblical genealogies by equating him with Meshech, right? Mosach. Meshach, Khan. Josephus said, from this Meshach, or this Mosakini, were founded by Mosa. And now there's a city called Mazaka. And so was the entire nation once called, whether we're talking Mexico, right? We got it on the maps where, hey, the Mexicana, Mexico, all that, what I'm saying, all one word, and, pretty much was everywhere. All this was, could be labeled under the tribes of the Meshach, tribes of the Mosa. And Graham Hancock has all these derivations of the same name broken down, this Meshach. We find them in the Americas under basically the same name. So whether you're talking Mazaka, Cappadocia, all this stuff, Graham Hancock just brought it back to the Americas, man. Letting you know what this Mexica flow is all about. How the Mexica flow is connected with this Cappadocian Byzantine flow. And remember, the Byzantine Empire was dismantled 1 year after the Papal Bull in 1453. So 1 year after the Doom Diverses, Pope Nicholas, all that, says subjugate these kingdoms. Bye-bye, Byzantine Empire. Bye-bye, Mazaka. You think that has something to do with you, your people in Asia? They have to go bye-bye first. Then 1492, Columbus sails the ocean blue, right? So just look at this. Look at the succession of events. You know what I'm saying? And how's it all bringing? How's it all coming home to the Meshach, to the Meshachs, to the Moshe, which is awesome. It says, find them in America under the same name. For example, the Mexica, right? Bang, the Mexicans, bang. So, would a Mexican today be connecting themselves to the Mexicans, and, would they connect that to the Meshach, to the Mossad? Or, are they just rocking with that title and cool? I'm just going to have this title, Mexican, Mexica, you know what I mean? Are they connecting it with Moses? Are they the descendants, right? Now, for example, the Mexicans are just the descendants of the Phoenician slave caste, or the Hebrew in captivity, exilarchs. The following are some ancient names of the Meshach Phoenician slave caste. So you got the Meshach, right? The Meshach. You got the Mushki, Mushki, Muskeva. I like over here because then you start getting to the Moscows, right? When we talk to Russians, you got Moscow, Moscovi, right? All Moses. Moscow is Moses, man. That's all Russia. That's all Asia. All the way to the Byzantine, from Mazaka to Mosak. All the way in the Americas here, Mexica, Peru, South America. Maybe the entire nation was called after Moses. So was the entire nation once called, right? We're just talking about Mosak. Maybe the whole nation was named after Moses. Muscovy, right? Mosak. Moski. Mooski. Yeah. Michigan, Mazaka, Makar, like Makir. Muska, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at all this Muscovy business, it's very, the way it starts to connect, man, when you really see the entire world. It says, as these Meshi grew in numbers, they ultimately became the terror of the entire ancient world. Because the hijack did not want to see the unity of these tribes of Moshe. According to Hindu mythology, the god Ayappa finally had to put them all to the sword. So here we go again. Someone's trying to put the Hebrews to the sword, you know what I'm saying? Whether the guys of Egypt or whoever, someone's always got a sword pointed at the Hebrews. Babylonians, Americans, whoever got a sword, right? You see the same story. However, many escaped to South America. Uh-oh. Okay, so we got a direct connect with Meshach to South America, becoming the Peruvian. Come on, man. The Moshe, man. Becoming the Peruvian Moshe. We're just talking about the original maritime nations. And we're about to get on this war. He's just talking about original Mar, right? Mar means great. Original greats. Let's simplify things. Moshe. Muscovy, right? Muscovy. Let's talk to Kumse. Let's talk tech. Because I'm just talking the Muskogee. So whether we talking Moscow, Muscovy, you're still talking Moshe. You're still talking Moshe. No matter how you slice it. Muscovy, Meskeva, Muska, Mazaka, Muscovy. Yeah, man. No matter how they spell it. Muskogee, Muscovy, Musko. Let's go. Tecumseh, the celebrated Shawnee chief, was born 1768 at the Shawnee village in Pequot in the state of Ohio. His father was killed in battle at Point Pleasant, 1774. The Shawnee town of Pequot was destroyed by the Kentuckians, 1780. After the death of his father, Tecumseh was placed under the care of his elder brother, who in turn was killed in a battle with the whites on the Tennessee frontier in 1788. And still another of his brothers was killed, man, by his side at the Wayne's victory in 1794. So you got all his family being taken out, and look at his pops pass in 1774. If you remember, America's been in war 93% of the time, right? Now we call that 100. 100 out of 100, man. You know what I'm saying? Because what 7% are you not counting? Hijack City. Now, Tecumseh's dad passed in 1774. They will have you think that this war, this American Revolutionary War, this Chickamauga War, Popped off in 1776, but 2 years before this popped off, we was already fighting. Tecumseh's getting charged up already. He lost his pops. Then he loses his brother. Then he loses another brother, all in this period. All while they're making treaties on our head bone, right? Treaties of Pieces and Friendship, 1786. Tecumseh's losing his family already to the hijack. Now, he's born in 1768, they say. So he was only, 6 years old when he lost his pops. His village, his town was destroyed in 1780. He was 12 years old when his town was destroyed. He's born into this war. He had no choice, man. He's born into this war. After the death of his father, Tecumseh was placed under the care of his brother, who was killed in 1788. So his bro, his protector, was then killed in 1788. He was 20 years old. And now he's fighting in a war, and another brother was killed by his side in 1794. Now he's 26, really popping off. This is all before the Tecumseh War. This is when Tecumseh is just getting charged up by the time they start calling it the Tecumseh War. 1811, 1812, 1813, 1814, 1815, and on, because all this is still the Tecumseh War. You're going to see the same major players, the same Creek, same Seminole, the same Kara key. Kara means black or dark or melanated, right? So, and the key is just the Ka. We just got what the Ka, connects to. So this Ka and this Kara put it together. Like Aztec Ka or Toltec Ka, Kara Ka, same meaning, Managa. And these Creek are always tribed up with the Shikama. But this gives you a little vision why, and as we read this, we're not, no one is concluding that everything we're reading is 100. You know what I'm saying? We're getting different documents. We're trying to see what happened, why the tribes didn't come together when they could have came together. What held a Naga, from embracing his brother. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into, the tribal war. And whatever happened, happened. What a Naga could do today is choose up and do it right this time. We're not here to bash nobody upside the head and saying, oh, your leader did this, your leader did that. Shit. We had a bunch of terrible leaders, if you're just looking at it even with the Bible references. You know what I'm saying? Judah had a bunch of idolatrous leaders. And, Israel had a bunch of idolatrous leaders. So we all had bad leaders. We all had leaders that, you know what I mean? So this ain't personal, man. We just trying to see what happened. All right, get out your feelings. You a native, you indigenous, whatever you call yourselves. Same person. We're just trying to see what happened. We're putting our story together. Get out the titles for a minute. You Choctaw, you Chickasaw, you Seminole. Just get out the titles for a minute, because it didn't save you then. It ain't gonna save you now. The only thing that's gonna save you is keeping the code and unifying within the flow of your creator, your great spirit, right? You got to be unified within that. So Tecumseh's mother was born in the state of Alabama and was a Creek Indian by birth. Bang. This explains a lot. This explains why the Tecumseh War was also the Creek War. You know, they was locked up. They was locked in, you know. They was tribed up for real, for real. Tecumseh didn't have to ask no Creek twice to join him on a battlefield. The Creek already knew what it was. The barber already knew what it was. Because the barber is the swan, right? Hey, we in 84, we out of here. Hebrew word of the day, right? Swan Nights, Told Texas, Sylvanus, right? All here. Barber is swan in Hebrew in the Swan Nights. Well, now you're talking Solomon the Builder. Tecumseh didn't have to ask these creeks, you know, twice about nothing, man. These creeks was always popping up, fighting side by side with these Karaka or these Shikamawa with the Shimano. The creeks are always showing up. Why? And these wars didn't stop, you know. They kept going and going and going and going and going. Mexico, right? We're still with the Mexica, still happening. And right after the Mexica, they skip over to the Philippines. They go right into the Philippines, huh? You know, it's for us to do our recon. Because before you write it off and say, oh, it's just the Philippines, man. Remember what a Philippine looked like. All these black Indian tribes, a lot of them are, you know, but this is all Philippine. It's all Philippines, right? Come on, man. Come on, Manat. So when they talking Mexico, they still talking Mexica, Moses. They still talking the Naga. When they talk Philippines, Managa, historical perspectives. Love to Melissa Flores. Talking stereotyping the Filipino, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. A confused Uncle Sam cradles a temperamental Filipino child. Right, we got this. So stop playing, man. This Filipino is still in his Indian garb, right? Still looking like a little native Naga Indian. But they would tell these Naga Indians, oh, you guys are culture vulture. You just want to be Indians and indigenous now. You're from Africa. Tell this Filipino he's from Africa. This Filipino Naga native baby has always been in the Philippines, man. This is the Filipino. This is the Filipino. And this is who they went to war against next after the Mexica. They called them the Philippine Banana War. They went to war against all these Presters. Banana, 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 Philippine, 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 Philippine. How many years is that, man? 1934 all the way back to 1900s? That's 34, 35 years. 34, 35 years. How many of these Naga nigga babies did they take from the Philippines? Did they colonize? Did they tell them they from Africa? Did they ship them to America? Or, this part of America? North America? Did they ship us and put us over there? A big switcheroo going on, right? Because this is not the image of the Philippines today. So you wouldn't know that they, for 30 plus years after going to war against you already with the Cherokee Indians and the Seminoles and the Creeks, and popped off with the Chickamauga. And that's from the first 20 years. And of course it continues because the Kumse War and the Barbary Swan Night Wars are still about the Chickamauga. Because he was fighting side by side with Dragon Canoe and the Chickamauga. And the Chickamauga will be titled under the Karaki or Karaka or Karakata. But specifically, these Cherokee were a group that separated from the greater body. Why? Because the majority, the greater body of Cherokee, wished to make treaties of peace and friendship. So this dragon canoe here, man, because remember they say Khan also means little boat. And I said, oh, you mean canoe? Skip Gusta. Red Chief. They move with him. His Nagas move with him in the winter of 1776 and 77 down the Tennessee River away from the historic overhill Cherokee towns. Relocated in a more isolated area, they established 11 new towns in order to gain distance from the colonists' encroachments. The frontier Americans associated dragon canoe, dragging or dragon, come on, dragging or dragon canoe with his band and his band or his gang with their new town on the Chickamauga Creek. So they're called Chickamauga because of their relation to this creek that they had to move near and began to refer to them as Chickamaugas, which means river of death, my Naga. Because that's how many Nagas we was losing that was fighting against all these other hijacks and turncoats and treacherous Templars, treacherous Nagas, treacherous Moors. They were making treaties on us, our own people looking just like us. They were then more commonly known as Lower Cherokee. Okay. This term was closely associated with the people of these 5 lower towns. Dragon Canoe and his followers settled at a place where the great Indian warpath crossed the Chickamauga Creek near present-day Chattanooga, Tennessee. They named their town Chickamauga after the stream. The entire adjacent region was referred to in general as the Chickamauga area. American settlers adopted that term to refer to the militant Cherokee. So don't play with these Chickamauga. They're the militant ones. They're the renegades, right? They're the rebellious Negroes, right? The ones they couldn't tame, the ones that made no treaties with them. No treaties. The militant Cherokee. Oh, I'm Cherokee. I'm the militant Cherokee. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference. What's the difference, Tech? So his mother was born in the state of Alabama. She's Creek by birth. The Creek Indians, the Choctaw, The Chickasaw, the Seminole, and Cherokees were the Muskogeans. So now we're classifying all these tribes under the Moscow or Moses title, Muscovy title, letting you know that they're all connected with Moshe. They're all connected with Shem. While the Shawnees were the Algonquins. God. All connected. 1811, in making a speech at Tallahassee, Alabama, on the Tallapoosa River, to 5,000 Muskogee warriors, he said. So this is a speech, letting them know, man, it's time to tribe up from the big homie Tecumseh, man. Oh, Muskogeans, brethren of my mother, brush from your eyelids the sleep of slavery. Come on. You imagine him trying to tribe us up today. We just want to go into crypto. We like, yeah, but what about the metaverse? What about the metaverse coin Tecumseh? These prophets were too real for a lot of these niggas today, man. Too real. They didn't want no fake reality. They didn't want no virtual reality. They didn't want no digital currency, man. They wanted their gold. They wanted their inheritance, their heritage. They wanted to tribe up, to fight for what's rightfully theirs by birthright. Brethren of my mother, brothers of my mother, brush from your eyelids the sleep of slavery. Once more, strike for vengeance. One more time, fight with me, man. One more time, strike for vengeance. Once more, strike for your country. The spirits of the mighty dead complain. Their tears drop from the weeping skies. Let the white race perish. Burn their dwellings, destroy their stock, slay their wives and children. The red men own this country. The pale face must never enter it. It's pretty cut and dry. It connects a lot to those not just, characteristically pale face, but we got a lot of darkies that claim that classify as white, right? So a lot of this white business, was really also connected to those that are classifying under this white title, on the checkerboard. Tecumseh was more fitted than any Indian chieftain to form a great confederacy of all the western and southern tribes to oppose the advance of the white settlers. Well, we know it's more or more, man. But let's just read it. Of the United States. So he was against all treaties, especially that treaty that the United States made with Morocco, right? Because, we know where Morocco is now. And once you know something, you can't unknow it. You can't unlearn it. You got to see clearly. Morocco was one of the first countries to recognize the newly independent United States. Tecumseh was fighting against Morocco, you dig? Morocco tribed up with the English, you know what I'm saying, tribed up with the hijack of hijacks, the United States. On the British side, you still had mostly swarthy Nagas over there that had some familiar family ties with the same Israelite groups and tribes that were over here. So it was easier for Tech to Kumse the tribe up, with, even though it wasn't automatic, it took some time for Tecumseh even to do that, to try to get help and allies, from these British. But, you know what I'm saying, hey, it was like trying to pick the lesser of two demons, man. Because although more Naga was on that side, you still had the hijack too, man. I mean, his own people didn't want to tribe up with him. He tried everything to fight. He tried everything to rally. He knew it was the last stand. He had to try everything. But he wasn't down with these treaties that the U.S. made with the Morocco, right, 1786. Right on the head bone of Dragon Canoe and the Chickamauga and the indigenous Nagas. Because these Cherokee made no deals. These are the militant Cherokee rocking with Dragon Canoe. Yeah, man. They separated. Because the rest of them hijacks wanted to make peace with these hijack Americans. So they made a deal with Morocco. The United States love to minister and form. And again, man, this map is mind blasting, man. You got Decatur over here, Indianapolis over here. And what keeps coming up, we got a document where we, really bringing us to this White River and this Wabash River. And these are very important rivers, you know what I'm saying? We know where Morocco is, right? We ain't confused. Lake Michigan, Chicago, Morocco, right? Muhammad, right? Where's Mecca? Mecca, right? Okay. Illinois. So around these borders, man, Illinois, Indianapolis, Indiana, I want to take a closer look at this Danville. Because this Danville is pretty much as close as I'm going to get today to finding, at least a close point to this holy mountain of harmonics, my noggin. I need your help to really narrow down as an investigation. Where is this holy mountain of harmonics today? I mean, is this part of this Prester flow? Because we're talking harmonics. Is this a man-made harmonic mountain? Is this a natural harmonic mountain? I mean, we got to put it together. Man, very interesting to look at these dates. Even right here, it says circa 1810 as they're migrating. Remember, this is the tribe of Ishmael. Gotta. How are y'all casually migrating when the Nagas are at war? Now, knowing it's more and more, and knowing we're talking about these Moorish sciences, right? It says the Moorish Science Temple at Pembroke, right? Old African American. Okay, so either the Moor got to tell me one or two things. You got to tell me one or two things, okay? Either we're not the Chickamauga, right? Or these Chickamauga are not Shemitic, Shem, seeds of Jacob, you know what I'm saying? Are these just another group of people that you want to give these titles to? I think you don't want to do that, right? I mean, you don't want to do that, right? So if we indigenous to America, my nigga, we indigenous to America. If we in India superior, we in India superior. If the copper color race is found here is the definition of an American, then the copper color race is found here is the definition of an American. And these militant Nagas that made no deal, no peace with the hijack, called the militant Cherokee, right? Or the Shikama. Are you trying to say that there's someone else? No, you can't do that. So what you're gonna have to do is, you know, you gotta answer to this. You gotta answer to why you're making treaties while any group of melanated people are getting massacred and mutilated. You have to answer to this. You're gonna have to say, yeah, whether you say it was us or a different group of Moors or Moabites or a different group that went rogue, somebody did it. And if I represent a group like Drop Nation and you say, yeah, these people that are Drop Nation, they went rogue, they went crazy, they started doing horrible things, even if it wasn't me doing it or my particular group and clique within Drop Nation, I still have to, to some degree, have to at least acknowledge and answer to what my people are doing to your people. I have to say, yeah, Drop Nation, they was tripping. On behalf of Drop Nation, I apologize for them because, it wasn't us, my group, but they're still, you know, they're still my people, man. I still got to take responsibility. You got to take responsibility. You made treaties on Dragon Canoe. What, he ain't no Naga now? The Kumse ain't no Naga? This wasn't a Naga rallying the group, rallying the tribes? Some other racial, you know, cluster of people was trying to unite these Indian tribes, man. These Creek and these Shawnee. These Creek and Shawnee are also not Negroes, right? Is that what you're saying? The Algonquins are somebody else? The Creeks are somebody else? I don't care what you classify yourself as. I don't care what you classify anybody as. Just take yourself out of it, man. A group of Moroccan Moors in America, right? I'm not talking about Morocco, Africa. We're talking about America. Made treaties on the Nagas that's fighting to the death for what's right. And while they're doing this, while the Kumse is telling these people, man, yo, we're going to talk Push Mataha. This is out the Indiana University Press. Article called Tecumseh and Push Mataha, who's the leader, the chief of the Choctaw, right, by J. Wesley Wicker. We're just putting the story together. He's telling all the Muskogeans, get that sleep out your eyes, man. Wake your eye bones up, and let's do this. One more strike for vengeance. Our ancestors are complaining that we're being, over here being real nice to this hijack. We're making a lot of treaties. I mean, if he was talking in our terms, it'd be like, man, y'all acting like some straight up bitches. Hell no, we can't go out like that. Hell no, we can't go out like this. If a Naga's talking like this today, it'll be the same thing. A bunch of, oh, well, no, I got to go to my job. I don't want to, no, we should try to get along and let's just vote. Why don't you guys just vote? Let's have a black vote. Their tears drop from the weeping skies. You want to have a black vote? You don't think all this is about the Tecumseh? 1810? Why would they just have this 1810 situation while they're migrating? Ishmael is migrating, and they start their migration right when they make their treaty, right? 1785. Come on. 1786, the treaty pops off. Yeah, this is sickening, man. Read about the treaty, and basically it's all about assistance. The hijack has to assist the Moor, and the Moor has to assist the hijack. Very detailed assistance. So that pops off. They start migrating west. They cross this point right here, across the White River in 1810. This is when they get to setting up their Mount of Harmonics, man. Their Muhammad, their cube, their situation they pop off with, right? The Tecumseh, the Chickamauga are fighting against this the same way the Prester was. Prester John was fighting against the Muslims, fighting against the Christians. He's the Judah king, right? He's the tribe of Israel king. Tribe of Israel ain't no Muslim. Tribe of Israel ain't no Christian. They are Ibaru. They keep the code of the Creator, and that's it. Yeah. Morocco and America, right? Okay, we're going to dig a little more on this mountain of harmonics. I'm just looking at this migration, and it starts to answer some questions. Starts to answer some questions. Now, all these Muskogee tribes, were being called to unite. The chieftains were all Algonquins, and it was the desire of the English that the Indian Confederacy include both the great divisions of the Indian tribes and Tecumseh. Being a cross between these two great divisions was the chieftain more suited to their purpose. Every speech made by Tecumseh, every act of his from 1807 until his death in 1813 was inspired by the English officials in Canada, and no one knew this better than William Henry Harrison, then governor of the territory of Indiana. I'm glad they brought up Harrison, because I've been digging on some Harrison, and this is some fun digging we're about to do. Some fun digging. On the 27th of July, 1811, Tecumseh arrived at Vincennes. At the close of his interview with the governor, which took place at this time, Tecumseh declared it was not his intention to make war against the United States, that the northern tribes were united, and he was going to visit the southern Indians and would return to the Prophet's town. The Prophet's town. On his return, he would visit the President of the United States, and settle all causes of difficulty between the Indians and him, and he hoped no attempt would be made to make settlement on the lands which had been sold to the United States at the Treaty of Fort Wayne. Soon after the close of the conference with Governor Harrison, Tecumseh, attended by from 20 to 30 Indian warriors, suddenly took his departure from Vincennes and proceeded down the Wabash River, right? Okay, where's the Wabash River? Right here. Let's get it bigger. Notice how it says Wabash more right here, right? The tribe of Ishmael. Oh, they were some good musicians. Okay. Now you see how the Wabash goes right, you know what I mean? It hits this X marks the spot where it says Tippecanoe. And we done talked about this Battle of Tippecanoe having everything to do with this William Henry Harrison. The Battle of Tippecanoe was fought between American soldiers and Native American warriors. Shit, the Battle of Tippecanoe was fought between the hijack Americans and their treaty-making Moorish confederacy against the real indigenous Naga, the real Amaru, you know what I'm saying? Along the banks of Tippecanoe, a river in the heart of the central Indiana. Following the Treaty of Fort Wayne, an 1809 agreement requiring Indian tribes to sell. Wow. So this is what Tecumseh was trying to tell them, like, don't settle on any of them recently sold lands. That's our lands. We fighting for that. He's telling the only reason why he's trying to meet with these jabronis is to let them know, give them fair warning. Don't y'all come try to settle on these lands, man. Now it says the victory. Look who won. Look who's teamed up with William Henry Harrison. Then governor, he became president. Henry Harrison, right? Yeah. Well, actually, this is I was thinking about pushing Mata Hawa. This here is actually showing who's on each side. So, you know, United States, and then, you know, they're saying Tenska Tahawa, which is the brother of Tecumseh. So, you know, Shalak, they're definitely not on the same side. And actually, he was the one that was killed in the Battle of Tippecanoe. You know what I'm saying? And they called him the prophet. That's why they called it Prophet's Town. And they waited to fight this war while Tecumseh was away rallying the tribe. They went to war against Skawatawa. And he had to fight that battle without Tecumseh because they snuck up on him. Let's read about it. All this while they migrating, right? All this while they're making treaties, right? Following the Treaty of Fort Wayne, so someone made a treaty under Tecumseh's nose that gave them 3 million acres of land, man. So now the hijack had 3 million acres of land just because of this Fort Wayne Treaty. An 1809 agreement requiring Indian tribes to sell 3 million acres of land to the United States government. And if they didn't, because of this treaty here with Morocco, just like the U.S. had to assist Morocco, Morocco has to assist the U.S. And if they want that 3 million acres, guess who has to help them get it? Guess who has to go fetch it for 'em? The more. How could y'all do this on your own brothers? Oh, because you were jealous. You wanted the promised land, right? You wanted the sacred mountain of harmonics, right? Tippecanoe, right? It's all happening. X marks the spot. It's right next to the holy mountain of harmonics. They fought the battle right beside the holy mountain of harmonics, my nigga. We gotta find this mountain. Is it underwater? I got a couple theories. We're gonna look at some dams, just kind of dig on these dams they built around this area. Did they flood this thing out, or did they build around it? We're gonna look at some things. Let's keep going. All right, let's go quickly. We're picking it up right here. So 3 million acres, bang. Shawnee Chief Tecumseh organized a confederation of Native American tribes to combat the horde of pioneers flooding into native land. So he wanted to fight against all these pioneers, all these mercenaries, all these hijacks flooding into your lands. The organized resistance, the rebellion, right, prompted Governor William Henry Harrison to lead roughly 1,000 soldiers and militiamen to destroy the Shawnee village Prophetstown, named for Tecumseh's brother, Watawa, the prophet, and designed by Tecumseh to be the heart, the what? The heart, what? The Obi, the Obi-Wang, right? The heart, the ruler, the Obi-Wang Khan-Obi, right? Let's go. The heart. Tecumseh designed it for Skawatawa to be the heart, the prophet. He designed it of the new Native American Confederacy with one objective, man, to get the land back to KTC. When Harrison arrived on the evening of November 6, 1811, he was met with a white flag by one of Skawatawa's followers who requested a ceasefire and that the two leaders, Harrison and Tecumseh, parley before any action be taken. Because as we about to get over here, this is what they were doing. This is what he was meeting for. He was trying to meet up to say, look, man, don't take this, don't you start settling on this land, man. On his return, he would visit the President of the United States, which was then, right here we're talking Henry Harrison, and settle all causes of difficulty between the Indians and him, and had hoped no attempt would be made to make settlement on lands which had been sold to the United States at the Treaty of Fort Wayne. So he's Tecumseh and Harrison, they're trying to work something out. This is why Skawatawa is waving the white flag saying, look, man, peace, man, like, we're trying to work this out We're trying to figure the situation out. Before we just pop off, we're trying to move with wisdom. Before we pop off, let them handle it. Let Harrison and Tecumseh see what they can do. Right. Shalak. So such a parley would mean a delay. That's all he was trying to do, is delay and get Tecumseh back to Prophetstown. As Tecumseh was not at Prophetstown, right? And they saw that, so they said, oh, they're weak without their warrior. You know what I'm saying? They're Prester. Having gone south to recruit warriors from the 5 civilized tribes. Now, we already know. We talking, these Nagas that already were rocking in these empires. Whether you're talking Mu or Atlantis, you know what I'm saying? You got civilization already here. So a wary Harrison agreed to Tenskwatawa's terms and retired his force to a hill about a mile from Prophetstown on the banks of Burnett Creek. Skeptical of the ceasefire, Harrison ordered his men into a rectangular defense position for the night. Much of Harrison's front lines were manned by militia, with 300 regulars in reserve to reinforce the untested militiamen in their lines. If their lines faltered, the south flank was covered by Captain Spencer of the Indiana Yellow Jackets, a company named for the bright yellow overcoats that they wore in battle. That night, Tenskwatawa was intent on breaking the ceasefire despite Tecumseh's previous warnings not to incite war until the Confederacy was strengthened. So that's why he was waving the white flag. Not that they didn't want no smoke, but they were trying to do it at the right time. He needed to get the numbers, man. He stood high above Prophetstown on a rocky ledge called Prophet's Rock and riled his people into battle by singing war songs and chanting incantations that he promised would protect them from bullets. At dawn the next morning, Harris's men were completely surrounded by Tenskwatawa's warriors. The warriors made a diversionary attack on the north end of the American rectangle, drawing the first shots of the battle and immediately waking the rest of Harrison's sleeping force. Soon after, a fierce attack of the southern flank caused Spencer's Yellow Jackets to waver and retreat after Captain Spencer and the 2 commanding lieutenants were felled by the swarming warriors. Wow, I mean, that's how they want to put it, right? They marched all that way, and then, it wasn't our fault, boss. They rolled up on us. They wanted to attack us. Tenskwatawa got mad and started popping off shots. I mean, we weren't there, man, but the victor always try to always try to write the history so they don't have to take responsibility. You think they marched all that way to jam up Tenskwatawa just to fall back and wait on Tecumseh, man? I mean, I think we see clear. Nah, I don't think so, man. I don't think he just fell back and these Indians just got charged up and went at Harrison, without Tecumseh there, man. Come on, man. So let's go. Dodge your own hijack. Harrison was able to quell the chaos by transferring Captain David Robb and the Indiana Mounted Rifles from their position at the north flank of the rectangle to reform the southern flank. The warriors grudgingly withdrew, and Harrison's men were able to bolster their defenses. Yeah. Tecumseh returned to Prophetstown 3 months after the battle, only to find it in ruins. It was the end of his dream of a Native American Confederacy. I'm telling you, my Naga, this is the last stand of the Negro. the indigenous America, and those people that you consider enemies today, they didn't do it by themselves, man. This all could have been avoided without the jealousy and the treachery. The defeat at Tippecanoe prompted Tecumseh to ally his remaining forces with Great Britain during the War of 1812, where they would play an integral role in the British military success in the Great Lakes region in the coming years, huh? Yeah, I mean, Lake Michigan, right, all this up here. So this map is amazing because it correlates so much with really what went down with Tecumseh, but it puts the Moorish tang on top of it. You know what I'm saying? When we talking the Wabash River with Tecumseh and the White River, Tippecanoe, they're talking Mountain of Harmonics in Morocco and Mecca, my not gonna lie. And they weren't rocking side by side, or else this would have never happened, right? And somebody was migrating, my not, while this was all happening, right? So what's really happening? And where is this Mountain of Harmonics? Back to this Indiana Magazine document. Now that we got some backstory about the Tippecanoe flow, and we see it right on the map, under Morocco, that this fall of Tenskwatawa, this last stand where X is marking the spot, right, has everything to do with these Morocco treaties. I mean, everything to do with these Morocco treaties in 1786. Soon after the close of this conference with Governor Harrison, Tecumseh, attended by from 20 to 30 Indian warriors, suddenly took his departure from Vincennes and proceeded down the Wabash River on his way to the south for the purpose of decimating his views among the Creeks, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Seminole. His real objective was to get those tribes of Indians to join with the Indian tribes of the northern states and support England in a war against the United States. Stop it. Stop it. Hijack City. His objective was to get them to support Great Britain, or was his objective to get them to fight to get the hijack off their land, to go to war against these corporations and their treaties? Who they call the English today, according to Benjamin Franklin, these small proportion of so-called whites under the English title, has nothing to do with this Britain flow, because Britain means covenant. And even the original English, you know what I'm saying, had everything to do with this dragon flow as well, all these titles are stolen. This English angel flow does not belong to them either. Now, Tecumseh would have accomplished his purpose had it not been for the fact that the Choctaw had a chief loyal to the United States, as Tecumseh was to England. Come on, man. And it's funny because, the United States is trying to break away from England. But even to this day, we still pay taxes to the Queen, right? So it couldn't have been about this. The narrative of this England versus United States, that's just a false narrative, man. This is a more and more war. This is an American war. It's not about England versus United States. Why are we still paying taxes to Queen then? Huh? It's still the same thing, right? So that part of it, that part of things, the corporation and England, one owns the other. It's still the same thing. And the war wasn't about freeing no slaves. The war was about getting your land back. It was your last stand to tribe up to get your land back. Now, who they call Push Mataha is the Choctaw, who was a Choctaw of unknown ancestry, born on the banks of the Nashuba Creek in Nashubi County, Mississippi, 1764. Before he was 20 years old of age, he had distinguished himself in an expedition against the Osage Indians west of the Mississippi. So they already fighting each other, you know what I'm saying? The boy disappeared early in this conflict, which lasted all day, and upon joining the Choctaw warriors, was jeered at and accused of cowardice, whereupon Pushmatawa replied, "Let those laugh who can show more scalps than I can." So, even though he became the chief of the Choctaw, according to this researcher, he was of unknown origin, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of, appeared one day, you know what I'm saying? After all this fighting that was going on, and he popped up, and they're laughing at him, you know what I'm saying? He says, "Hey, man, who got more scalps?" Therewith, he produced 5 scalps, which he threw upon the ground, the result of a single-handed onslaught of the enemy's rear. This incident gained for him the name Eagle. Oh, we got the Dragon versus Eagle War. Is that what, Tecumseh means shooting star or dragon? Yeah. And Pushmataha is the eagle. Got it. So America had to either choose to rock with the eagle or the dragon, right? We're going to get, a little Acadia drop, Acadian green dragon. And, this green dragon was once a symbol of liberty and power for America. Benjamin Franklin wanted to use this symbol for America, but the bald eagle, the eagle won, right? The eagle won, right? And won for him a chieftaincy. Later, he became Mingo of the Okahominili, or 6 districts of Choctaw. Okay. Mingo or Mongo? Mingo or Mongo? Exercised much influence in promoting friendly relationships with the whites. Now, again, the whites are more than just about complexion, man. Even though they'll say pale face, these whites are also a classification of these Moroccans, right? So he's strongly opposed to Tecumseh's movement. So here's the op. Here's the op. So he's opposing tribing up and fighting against the hijack. He wants treaties. He wants peace. In reality, they just want to save their people. They just want to make deals. They just want to save their people. But did they save them in the long run? Or they just, cause more destruction in the short run? And really, to this day, you know what I'm saying? He strongly opposed the Kumse's movement, and it was largely through him that the Shawnee chieftains' mission among the Muskogeans failed. This is really what we're keying in on as the tipping point, the breaking point, the point of separation, with the Kumse's fighting and begging to unite the tribe. So we're picking it up from here, right here on page 319. The great Shawnee chief was thoroughly familiar with past relations between all Indian tribes and the whites. He began by recounting all the wrongs perpetrated on the Indians by the palefaces since the landing of Columbus. He related how the white man had beguiled the Indians along the Atlantic coast to part with their lands for a few peons. That sound familiar? Part with their lands for a few trifling beads and a little firewater. Leaving them beggars, vagabonds, peons, and strangers in their own land. Don't that sound familiar? You look in the hood near you, liquor store, firewater, beggars, vagabonds. This is what they turned us into. We became strangers, peons, in their own land. To be scorned and despised by their pale-faced neighbors. Don't that sound familiar? He told how the Shawnees and other northern tribes were being stripped of their patrimony. He laid down the principle that the Great Spirit HAWah had given the Western Hemisphere to all red people in common, and that no particular tribe had anything more than the right of possession to any lands, and therefore asserted any relinquishment of title by one tribe to be null and void. In other words, y'all can't relinquish y'all titles for me. Y'all can't make these treaties and give up 3 million acres of my land for me. Any relinquishment of title by one tribe is null and void because many of the owners had not joined in the transfer. So when they did that treaty, those tribes can't speak for everybody. Those tribes can't give up millions of acres of Naga land. They don't have the authority. They don't have the ownership of the land to just give it away to the hijack. Because not, or many of the owners had not joined in the transfer. So these wrongs, he declared, he had been made possible. These wrongs had been made possible by the ingenuity of the whites in attacking only one tribe at a time. Listen up. This was their battle plan. The white man could be driven back over the mountains where he came, that the golden opportunity was now at hand to join hands with the British and scourge from their revered hunting grounds eternally the hated paleface. So what about these British, And again, this leads us to, believe that there had to be a family connection with who they're calling these Brits. You know what I'm saying? That history never really revealed the more on more war going on at the same time as this American revolutionary situation. It was the it was the war of the revolutionary. Who's the revolutionary today, right? So it was the Revolutionary War. The American, the rebel, the militant Naga, Negro, Chickamauga. He saw an opportunity to scourge from their hunting grounds eternally the hated paleface. He closed his eloquent address with a stirring appeal to the patriotism of the Choctaw and the Chickasaw, asking if they would await complete submission or would they not join hands and fight beside the Shawnees and other tribes rather than submit. I mean, we're talking peaceful slavery or dangerous freedom. Everything Tecumseh talking about is real facts, and it's the same situation today. With these treaties, paleface or not, all skinfolk ain't kinfolk and all kinfolk ain't confolk. But the question is the same. Are you Nagas going to await complete submission? Or are you going to join hands? Or are you going to tribe up rather than submit? See, Tecumseh is a real one, you know what I mean? It ain't no treaties, ain't no deals at all. We can all use a little Tecumseh, and we could all use a lot of Tecumseh flowing through our veins. You worried about keeping up with the Joneses. Tecumseh want to get your land back. Tecumseh wants safety, true freedom. And I understand, if that's scary. I got a family. We got families. Imagine they families. Imagine they tribes. They're like, look, man, just do the deal. Sign the paperwork. Give them the land. We'll take Oklahoma. We'll take somewhere else, man. I mean, at least our families are safe for now. I understand that philosophy, but you see, hindsight is 2020, and all that did was give you peaceful slavery, still submission. Now they think they can just pump you with anything they want to pump you with. You asking about your land, you asking about getting your stuff back. And that's why this Prester flow is so important, because this Prester gotta come alive within us, man. Unyielding, uncompromising, that's the Prester. A true Prester. It's the same question we're asking now. We think we ready for the Prester. Are you sure? You worried about digital this and that? You sure you ready for the Prester? Or would you rather submit? Evidently, Tecumseh's purpose had been fully accomplished. His magnetic words seemed to arouse every vindictive settlement within the souls of the Choctaw and the Chickasaw wars. So it appeared that he spread that frequency that they was feeling my knock attack. But what happened? Their savage enthusiasm had been stirred to white heat when Pushmataha calmly strode before the council fire and began his wonderful reply to the Kumse speech. What a pity that no accurate account of this wonderful debate between these two giant primitive orators was at the time preserved. So that's why I said all they can do is speculate. I'm not here to poke no fun at Pushmataha or the Choctaw, the Chick. Again, I, I, you know, as a man, I understand. But as a people, as a nation, we can now see clearly and say all that bending over and breaking for these hijack, whatever color they are, whatever they look like, whoever they are, it leads to the same question: peaceful slavery or dangerous freedom? This is what we have to address, what I have to address, what you got to address, because this is what's coming. That decision got to be crystal clear within you. I ain't no homeborn slave. I didn't come for no peaceful slavery. And neither did you, my knight. Neither did the Kumse. So they didn't have no accurate account of his speech, but here's what they've put together, from Pushmataha. Let's pick it up from here. These are plain words, and it is well they have been spoken, for they bring the issue squarely before us. Mistake not, this language means war. And war with who? So Push coming in like, look, all that sounds amazing, but you know what all that ends up in? Something called war. Y'all ready for that? Who y'all want to fight with? The big bad US of A? The corporation? These treaties? Let's go, man. War with some band of marauders who have committed these depredations against the Shawnees? Oh, that's their fight, not my fight. War with some alien host seeking the destruction of the Choctaws and Chickasaw? Nah, my fellow tribesmen, none of these are the enemy we will be called on to meet. If we take up arms against the Americans, we must of necessity meet in deadly combat our daily neighbors and associates in this part of the country near our homes, okay? And that's why I say let's get this with a dragonfly perspective, because really, to me, it's really honing in that this is a black on black situation, a tribe on tribe situation, whatever you want to call it. He's saying, look, man, we go to war against this confederacy. We're going to war against literally our own neighbors, not just some evil enemy, what they call it, some alien seeking to destroy the Choctaw and Chickasaw. Not the alien, but our neighbor. our associates in this part of the country near our homes. Because it wasn't just about some person coming off a boat, you know, giving orders and nah, it's already happening. Manage, this is already Morocco, right? It's already happening. The neighbors are you. The neighbors look like you, look like us. It's talking tip of canoe, right? Tip of canoe, dragon canoe, small boat, Khan and small boat. Let's go. Yeah, man. So he's giving up some drop right there. Like, this ain't just about no alien thing. We're going to have to fight our own people. If the Kumse's words be true and we doubt them not, then the Shawnees' experience with the whites has not been the same. Has not been the same as that of the Choctaw. So he's now making a separation. Look, y'all experience with the hijack ain't our experience with the hijack. These white Americans buy our skins, our corn. They feed us. We making money. We making a bag off these whites, right? Because they sure know how to pick them. They know how to make one tribe rich while they make another tribe beggars, right? Just like the Kumse was saying, like, it's going to happen to everybody. And now that we can look back on it, who was right, my nigga? What does this version, and again, we don't have the actual transcript, so, we're all speculating, but what would this version of Push Mataha, saying, look, hey, let's just make a deal with these leaders, with these elites, hey, I'm making millions. Sound like the Boule, right? We making millions. Our families are good. What do you think the Boule is full of today? A bunch of Chickasaws, Choctaws, Shawnee. I mean, anybody today that's say, hey, man, I want to just get rich, man. They buy our skins, our corn, our cotton, our surplus game, our baskets, our other wares, and they give us in fair exchange their clothes, their guns. They giving us straps. Has the game changed, man? Has the game changed? Or do they still do the same thing? They still giving up straps, right? To the hood, their tools, implements, and other things which the Choctaw need, but we do not make. It is true we have befriended them. Yeah, we made treaties of peace and friendship. We've befriended them. We got a contract with them. But Naga, he's speaking directly to the contract, you know what I'm saying? Yep. He's speaking directly to the contract with Morocco, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, with a dragonfly perspective. We've befriended them, he said, right? He's not talking about just the pale face. He's not talking about just the alien coming on our shores. He's talking about our own neighbors because he knows that Morocco is right here, right on the head bone of Tippecanoe. Tippecanoe is right on the head bone of this prophet town, Harrison Flow. And who's Harrison? Man, who's Harrison anyway, man? Let's take a tour down Harrison Lane, man. They keep bringing up Harrison, just going in this genie Genie.com, man. Let's surf the wave. We'll get back into the speech. We see what we get the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? This is all happening in early 1800s, man. Transcript accurate or not, we get the gist of it. So before he's Governor William Henry Harrison. Now, be called Old Tippecanoe and Halal HaWah. Old Tippecanoe. How we doing? Okay. Oh yeah. We're just cranking up, I know. Con. So President William Henry Harrison Sr. is the same Governor Harrison that the Kumsey's meeting with daughters, right? So he's also known as Old Tippecanoe. So just in case you thought it was Wing Wham. Alright. Now, this is funny, man. Now there's another William Henry Harrison, right? Now you might assume, yeah, there's multiple William Henry Harrisons, no problem. But this one is also very connected. Now he's about 100 years. I think the other one's born 1773, and this one right here is born 1876. William Henry Harrison. He's called the principal chief of the Choctaw. Come on, man. So, I don't know. Either we're looking at time shift or this is just, you know, a relative, and it has to be a relative or some type of connection, right? Because this Henry Harrison, he's rocking with the Choctaw. And then you have this other Phantom Henry here. He's also rocking with the Choctaw. He's the chief of the Choctaw. The other one's the president. One's the president. One's the chief of the Choctaw. But they're both William Henry Harrison. Got it. Now let's just surf the wave, man. Try to connect this even more with what's happening with Tecumseh. Now look how Anaga, just hold on to your boot bones. Let's go. Now, William Henry Harrison, principal chief of the Choctaw Nation. He's the son of Mitchell Harrison and Louisa Harrison. Now, when you click on Mitchell Harrison, very interesting. They don't give you much. They let you know he's so he's born between 1811 and 1871. Damn. So they don't know nothing about Mitchell. They got a 60-year span of when he could have been born. You don't know who his daddy is. You just know he's the husband of Louisa and the father of William Henry Harrison, principal chief of the Choctaw Nation. Very strange. They don't tell us who his mama and daddy is. Let's go back. Husband of Louisa Harrison. So since they don't give us much on Mitchell, I say let's surf the wave on the Aqua. Maybe she can, give us some hard hits on who this William Henry Harrison, principal chief of the Choctaw Nation, is. Okay, let's just go quickly with her. Louisa Harrison Garland. So they gonna give us a hard hit immediately. And if you don't know about the Garland family, well, just hold on to your boot bones, right? So she married into the Harrison family, but she's a Garland, right? Let's go. She's the daughter of Israel Garland. Yeah, my naga. Israel Garland, right? Who's this Louisa Harrison? Where are you taking us? Let's go. She's the daughter of Israel, wife of Mitchell. All right, now it tells you daughter of Israel. Doesn't even tell you who her mama is, but let's go. Daughter Israel Garland, who's the son of Silas Garland. Let's keep going. Yeah. It's getting real biblical for some reason, man. She's the daughter of Israel. He's the son of Silas. Let's click on Silas. See where it's taking us. Let's just go down the bread trail. Silas Garland is the son of John Garland. Anything ringing a bell for my niggas that knows about the Garland family? But let's keep going. He's the son of John Garland. You know Johnny Boy Garland. Well, he's the son of Major James Garland. And Hushi Yukpa. Happy bird. James Garland. Does it give us some more on this? All it does is take us to, all right, James Garland, son of John Garland. So there's another John. Now we're in Scotland and the Great Britain and all that, right? And this John, that's as far as they gonna take us. To another John, husband of Elizabeth Dearborn Garland, father of Major James Garland. Let's go back. Now, Major James Garland. Major James Garland is the husband of Hushi Yukpa. Man, let me go back again. John Garland. Okay, so John Garland is the husband of Melinda Garland, son of Major James Garland and Hushi Yukpa. Now I just said, let's see if this connects us to Tecumseh, right? Remember how we got here, my naga? We started looking at Louisa Garland because, or Harrison, who's the wife of this William Henry Harrison, either phantom duplication, we don't know. Silas, father of Israel. Father of Louisa. Louisa, wife of Mitchell, mother of William Henry Harrison, principal chief of the Choctaw Nation. And remember, we got two William Henry Harrisons, president, governor, all that. But one, they're connecting you directly with the Choctaw. And by following the wife of Henry Harrison, or excuse me, the mother of William Henry Harrison, you continue that to her pops, Israel Garland, son of Silas, son of John, son of Major James Garland and Hushi Yukpa Manaka Hushi. All right, so this John, his mama is Hushi Yukpa. And this same John, his great granddaughter, what I'm saying, is this Louisa that ends up marrying or is the mother of this Henry Harrison, right? So follow me, who's Hushi Yukpa? Oh man, see the HARMONICS is gonna give it all the way up. The HARMONICS is gonna give it all the way up. Hushi Yukpa, Happy Bird, circa 1755, right? That's right. In the Tecumseh flow because she's the daughter of the sun mythical and the moon mythical. Come on, man. I can't make this stuff up. Hushi Yukpa is the daughter of the sun and the moon, right? The sun mythical and the moon mythical, man. I'm just checking, making sure we good. I'm saying they be trying to hijack, so I always got to constantly check, make sure we are A1 like this song. And now, my naga, it appears that we done found ourselves a hard hit. Surfing away with this Choctaw flow. Yeah. Well, who's the sun mythical? They just say husband of the moon mythical. Who's the moon mythical? They just say wife of the sun, Mr. So we just say this is interesting, right? But she's the wife of Major James Garland, right? Who's popping this whole Garland thing off. And the mother of Michael Garland and John Garland. And she's the sister. Look, boss. Uh-oh. Got her. So who she is, the sister of Pushmata, my native Choctaw, right? Sister of Nahotimi Choctaw. Pushmataha is who Tecumseh's beefing with, right? He's the number one op, right? Going against his whole flow. Don't want to tribe up. He want to make deals and treaties and all that. Pushmataha. His sister, Hushi, ends up marrying into this, Garland flow, right? This, Major James. Yeah. Major James Garland. Who's this? Well, let's look at John Garland, you know what I'm saying? Because, Major James Garland, Major James Garland is, the pops of this John Garland, right? So this John Garland, is very, very important to this whole flow. An American general in the regular army who had a long, distinguished career spanning 50 years of service during the War of 1812. The Seminole Wars, Mexican-American War, and the Utah War. The Utah War. What does the Utah War have to do with the Mexica-American War? Have to do with the Seminole War? Have to do with the War of 1812, the Tecumseh War? I said, what does Tecumseh have to do with the Seminole? Have to do with the Mexica or the Mazaka or the Mosa? Have to do with Utah? It's all the same people. All this is Shem, all this is Tribes of Moses, all this is Utah, Prester Flow. All these is the same people under different, classifications of whatever title of war they want to call it. Just know that John Garland spent 50 years of service popping off this 1812. Let's get it, man. We're talking about the Tecumseh's War, right? Tecumseh's War, Khan. War of 1812, Khan. Same time as, Ishmael is migrating, right? They just popping off 1810. My where is this mountain of harmonics, man? Well, we gonna make a great dismount right there. We got so much more I want to get into, but you know how we do, man. We're just taking our time, man, carving through this thing. But yeah, man. So Pushmataha, who's going head up against the Tecumseh, who ends up actually fighting, on the side of, I believe, what Andrew Jackson or whoever's going against Tecumseh at this point. At this point, when the war is popping off, Tecumseh's war, he's going against the Choctaw and push Mataha and whoever's rocking with them, whatever Upper Muskogee, whatever is rocking with them, whatever tribes are confederate against us. But John Garland put in 50 years of service. And this is the same John Garland, son of James, Major James Garland. Let's check out his birthday. So James, he's born in Scotland, they say, okay. Has a son, John. Khan. Wait, so this John, let's go back. He's the father of James. Gotcha. And he's the father of this other John. We gotta follow the Johns. Here we go. So now we get to the right John, which is gonna pretty much line up with what we're getting. This John born in Mississippi. They say he died after 1834, right? They said he put in 50 years of service, right? Okay. But he's the son of Push Mataha's sister. You know what I'm saying? So he's the son of Yushi and Major James. And he goes and puts in that work. He puts in that service, right? He goes and puts in that work in 1812. The son of Push. So it's letting you know for sure that Push Mataha is fighting against the Tecumseh. Even his sister's people is fighting against the Tecumseh. They're all fighting against the Tecumseh, right? 50 years of service, Seminole Wars, Mexican-American Wars, 1812 Tecumseh War. Look at all this. So throughout all this time, all these Seminole Wars, who's putting in that work? John Garland. Hey, who's putting in that work even before that? William Henry Harrison, who put in so much work in 1812 that he's called Old Tippecanoe. So this Harrison and Garland is rocking side by side with Push Mataha. Who's telling his people, man, we befriended these hijacks. They feeding us. Y'all remember what a dreadful epidemic visited us last winter, and during its darkest hours, these neighbors whom we are now urged to attack responded generously to our needs. They doctored our sick. We went to them for vaccines, is what he's saying, right? They gave us, whatever magic we needed, right? They doctored our sick, right? They clothed our suffering. They fed our hungry. Add where is the Choctaw or Chickasaw delegation who has ever gone to St. Stephen's with the worthy cause and been sent away empty-handed? So in marked contrast with the experience of the Shawnees, they treat us good. It would be seen that the whites and Indians in this section In this section, hey man, stay up in your section. Guard your intersection. Tribal music flex. Get that reconstruction pack. Five Eyes Ma is popping off, man. Yosef Not Spiral popping off, man. Yeah, in this section, in their hijack section, they're treated good by the whites. The whites and Indians in this section are living on friendly, mutually beneficial terms. We have a contract. We have terms. We've reached our terms. We are on friendly terms. We have befriended, you know what I mean? All this verbiage. We are on mutually friendly and beneficial terms. Forget not, O Choctaws and Chickasaws, that we are bound in peace. Whoa. Whoa. Right in your face, Bone. I didn't even have to, man, they put it together for you. We are bound in peace to the great white father at Washington, D.C. by a sacred treaty, and the Great Spirit will punish those who break their word. The Great White Father has never violated that treaty, and the Choctaws have never yet been driven to the necessity of taking up the tomahawk against him or his children. Therefore, the question before us tonight is not the avenging of any wrongs perpetrated against us by the whites, for the Choctaws and Chickasaws have no such cause, either real or imaginary. But rather it is a question of carrying on that record of fidelity and justice for which our forefathers ever proudly stood. So he said, this is a question of us keeping our word with the whites. Justice and fidelity, we made a deal with them. God will punish us if we break our word, even if it's a word that is causing the death and destruction of HAWA's own people. The Great White Father never violated the treaty against us. It's a sacred treaty with the Great White Father at Washington, D.C. and Morocco. Where? Right here. Right here in America. So whether we're talking John Garland, President William Henry Harrison, old Tippecanoe, John Garland, right? Look at he's popping off, you know what I'm saying? Just all in succession, man. All the wars he's fighting in. Just to find out that it's the same John Garland whose mama is the sister of Push Mataha, daughter of the sun and the moon, right? His mama, dodged the hijack picture, man, because you already know he looked different in this. His mama is the sister of the Choctaw chief, man. Wow, right? I said, wow, right? Yeah, we'll get more, back into this Tecumseh and Push Mata, but this really shows a clear division in the lines that were crossed and broken and completely mutilated between brothers. And you want us to have black pride today. You want us to come together as one black tribe. You want us to come together as one black tribe today. We've been given the experience of the Moroccan treaties right here at home. You tell me when some black unity has ever occurred. It appears it's been a more on more war. And not only do you have Morocco and Mecca around this holy mountain of harmonics, they really kind of start telling on themselves. Because I looked up Danville, and it's very interesting, man, that Danville starts connecting to the other spots around the area. Even today, it's about 16 miles from what's called Moorville, right? Yeah, Moorville. Yeah, right at the same holy mountain of harmonics is Moorville, right by Mecca and their Muhammad and their Morocco is Moorville and Morgantown and Morgan City and all these, you start deciphering all this more business happening around the same area. Like they disguised it, but not that good. They hid it, but not that well. You know what I'm saying? Not that well, man. And I want to know where they hid it. I mean, it appears that there's a damn dam that was built. We'll get into. We'll probably pick it right up here around here next time on these damn dams, man. Talk about that TVA, 'cause we are talking Tennessee, right? Right, that TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, all them dams like this Wabash Locks and Dam. It says view of men fishing at the Grand Rapids Dam near Mount Carmel. Ain't Mount Carmel got some type of biblical significance? Come on, man, let's take it home, man. Mount Carmel in the Bible, sanctified since early times. Mount Carmel is mentioned as a holy mountain. Boss. We talking about looking for a holy mountain of harmonics, right? We're looking around for a holy mountain of harmonics. We're seeing what they did with it. Where is it at, right? We're looking at the damn dams that took place in the same area. Recon, the Wabash, right? Like the river, Wabash River. Navigation Company was originally commissioned to build the Grand Rapids Dam. Its charter was approved by the Illinois and Indiana legislatures in the early decades of the 19th century. Here we go. Andrew Jackson, right? This is who the Choctaw Chief was rocking with. He vetoed the project during his administration in the 1830s, refusing any federal support. Eventually, the state of Indiana allowed the Wabash Navigation Company in 1849 to construct the first timber crib structure as part of it. Why do you think he vetoed it? I mean, maybe he knew something like, I don't even want to be a part of that. What are y'all trying to flood? They always acting like they're trying to fix the water flow. Man, these hijacks don't know nothing about no water flow. They don't know nothing about no water or flow. They trying to dam up the place. So the dam was located near Mount Carmel, Illinois. We're looking for a sacred mountain, a holy mountain of harmonics. There's a Mount Carmel popping off. And according to the script, one of my favorite scriptures in 1 Kings 18, you got Elijah popping off at the same location. The Prester Elijah, right? Go get that Prester John drop, Prester Elijah flow. The Tishbite, the Wanderer, right? You telling me at this same location, even though they're calling it Mount Carmel in Illinois now, right? The dam was located near Mount Carmel, Illinois. But now it's not a mountain, it's just a city. Where did this mountain go? Anything to do with the damn dams? Or are they disguising it? Are they building around it? Are they calling it something else now? Mount Carmel, Illinois is a city on the country seat of Wabash County, Illinois, USA. At the time, 2010 census had a population of 7,284. So it kind of reminds me of the to Zion flow, to Zion. Go get that drop. And now they got a place called to Zion, but before that, to Zion was like all of what's now the national parks of Kanob or Kabab or Caleb, one of the major super millions of acres national parks was called To Zion. To Zion. They changed it to Kanab or one of those. Same thing with Mount Carmel. Now they just call it a small city of 7,000, just like to Zion's a small city now. What about the millions of acres? That's not included in your census. Located at the confluence of the Wabash, Patoka, and the White Rivers, Mount Carmel borders both Gibson and Knox counties. They say White River, right? That's why I like this map, though. That's why I like this map. You see this long river? It's the White River, man. So Mount Carmel is near the holy mountain of Harmonics, man. Get it through your head, bone. But now Mount Carmel is just a city, right? It's just a city, boss. Ain't nothing to see here, boss. It's just a city. All these national landmarks is near. Okay, let's go back. So, what do y'all think they did with this sacred Mount of Harmonics? Is it underneath this city? Is it underneath the water? I mean, leave a comment, let a nugget know. Is this Mount Carmel not that Mount Carmel? Because according to the script, this holy mountain in Egyptian records of the 16th century BC, okay, is a high place. It was long a center of idol worship. Idol worship, my nigga. I can't make this up. Morocco, Muhammad. This is where they had the cube popping off. You think it's play? I know. I get it. I would too, except this is Prester John, investigation number 84. And if you know one thing, my nigga, you should know by now that this ain't no play. Oh yeah, I know as soon as I click this link, they're gonna try to play with us, man. But hey, it's all good. I want you to see this. I want you to see this in real time, all this glitching and stuff, you know. By the time I get these drops to you, my nigga, man, I done had to reboot. I done had to start over from the beginning, all this stuff. So, Halal HaWah, every time you get a drop like this, we've had to persevere, man, to get it to you. You know what I mean? And all praise to HaWah, we keep the water flowing. Yo, so, check it. I'm talking about the cube, right? All right, now this is right from the more, right? The Maxim Almanac, right? Okay, you see, I'm going to their, perspective, right? So They were viewed as odd and revered too as gypsies, right? We got that drop. Are we talking gypsies or Egypt? Egypt, Egyptsies. Put the E in front. Let's go. Connected with permission of the Pharaoh, they can migrate. Let's go. We're talking to Maxim. The group was suspected of having a high infant death rate, and in 1880s, it was common for children to be taken away from their parents. Oh man, it's all happening. So, Holy Mountain of Harmonics, cube of Abraham, Ishmael. So this is where they had the cube. You thought this Mecca was on some play, where it says Mecca? All right, so this, you know, authors, scholar, whatever he's rocking with the almanac, he's letting you know we're talking about the harmonics cube. Whoa. Muhammad, right? Mecca. Chicago, right? Illinois, Indiana. Wabash. White River. Tippecanoe battle popping off. The Kumsey's right in the midst of all this hijack. Mount Caramel's popping off around here, right? They they dam up the whole place. They flood whatever. It's always the Army Corps of Engineers behind this stuff, letting you know it is war. The Army's popping this off. It is war, right? Andrew Jackson, Garland, and Harrison. It's war, right? The Army's doing this, right? Let's go. And now they're talking about Mount Carmel, Illinois. This whole White River flow that we just got. And you telling me at the same time, idol worship is popping off at Mount Carmel, right? And we got the cube too, right? All right, come on for the dismount. And its outstanding reference in the Bible is as the scene in Elijah's confrontation with the false prophets, right? And this is when he was burning them down 50 at a time. He had dragon fire falling from heaven. 50 at a time was getting taken out by dragon fire, my naga. My naga, we talking biblical lands, man. When we talk Mount Carmel, when we talk America, when we talking mountains, not just this holy mountain, but this whole Mount Carmel was this whole mountain range situation. You know how many mountain ranges is popping off? This ain't no land without mountain ranges. He's talking Indiana, Indianapolis, Illinois. What happened to the holy mountain of harmonics and what exactly was it? We're getting some hints that it had to do with this cube. We see Danville popping off. And when you look up Danville, it's going to take you to this whole connection with Morgan County. Yeah. This whole connection with Morgan County in between Indianapolis is Marion County. More of this, more of that. And all this Morgan's, it's all, it's named after, this one's named after Daniel Morgan. Okay. Then you got Mortonsville. You got a lot of, you got a lot of Morism going on, man. You got Morgan this, Morton this, Morion that. Man, you got a series of treaties popping off in 1818. Again, you still at war, right? So all these treaties were against you. All these people setting up shop on your land, migrating, are against you. It's talking about the first settlers coming in. The first settlers arrived in Morgan County, 1822. They came mostly from southern states. The Mooresville area. Oh yeah, now we got Mooresville popping off. All this mooring it up in the same place that you got Morocco and Mecca and Muhammad. You got Moorville, Morgan this, Marion County. I think we're starting to see clearly, man. You still had to moor it up around this place because this is where the Mecca and Muhammad were. You had to moor it up, man. You had to moor it up. Mooresville, Indiana, is a brown township. Okay, and this was named after who's this jabroni here, man? Samuel Moore. And all these dates are the same: 1822, 1824. My nigga, what was you doing in 1822 and 1824? What was the Naga fighting for his freedom around this time, right? 1822, anti-piracy. The pirates, okay. Man, 1824. So all this fighting against you, my nigga. Seminole Wars. Just call them Seminole. Just call them Chickamauga Wars, man. While all this is happening, they're settling Moorville, they're settling Morion this and Morgan that. They're settling Morgan County with Daniel Morgan in 1818. Naga, what was you doing in 1818? First Seminole Wars. Oh, you still fighting in the Seminole Wars, right? While they setting up Morgan this. Man, the governing structure created by this act was superimposed over an area that was still largely contested with the country's natives, the Chickamauga, although these were being gradually pushed out of the area. 1818, a series of treaties was concluded, resulting in the confinement of the Miami tribe to the reserve area and the removal of the Delaware tribe, who had dominated central and eastern central Indiana to west of the Mississippi River by 1820, clearing the way for colonization. These treaties cleared the way for colonization. And this is what the Kumse was trying to tribe up the Nagas to fight against. Daniel Morgan defeated the British, defeated the Chickamauga at the Battle of Cowpens in the Revolutionary War. Oh yeah, the Mooresville area. Surrounding communities receive a large number of Southern Quakers, driven to migrate because of their opposition to slavery. Then you got Paul Hadley, a Mooresville resident, designing the Indiana flag. Well, we got Dragon Child designing the Nagaville flag. So you get your Moorville flag and we get our Nagaville flag. And my Naga, we gonna keep our code. We gonna keep our code. Cause you see how it's happening on us. For the dismount, structure in the ancient wisdom literature, the Holy Mountain reconstructed from Platonic, Vedic, and Hebraic and Babylonian sources. I'm just getting some drop on the Holy Mountain for the dismount, my Naga. For the dismount, man. All right. It could be something, it could be nothing. For the dismount, man, we hanging in there strong, enjoying a great flow, man, y'all. Surfing the wave with me. And again, man, it's been about 3 days without no sleep. So, excuse me, my voice a little raspy. I'm going to get some good rest today, I promise. And I got the Shabbat coming in, so, I'm going to get a complete rest. And I'm looking forward to the fifth wave popping off with the Khan. So, We get some water and we popping off. Let's go. Let's go. All right, man. So, all right, we're talking holy mountains. All right, we're talking holy mountains. All right. This is by Ernest G. McLean. Structure in the ancient wisdom. Let's go. So it's reconstructed from Platonic, Vedic, Hebraic, and Babylonian sources, 166, quote, pebble counters, which provide an overview of an ancient science and number and tone. And we talking harmonics, man. And we talking harmonics, right? The holy mountain of harmonics. We're talking tones. We're talking frequency. Con. So let's pick it up right here, man. I mean, they talking tones on a noggin, harmonics on a noggin, holy mountain of harmonics. So since the counters are in geometric arrays, the holy mountain corresponds in several ways with our new holographic model of the mind as proposed to Pibram and others. The arrays pursue integers to the limit of interest to harmonic cosmologists. Again, we talking the holy mountain of harmonics. So it's connecting with the cosmos, okay? That is to the point where cyclic implications within the octave of 1:2 ratio converge on its mysterious center symmetry. All right, however you what square root, something like that, of 2. This first confrontation with the irrational, probably not latter than the 3rd millennium BC, produced our oldest inherited systems theory in the form of a religious mythology. Resonances between ancient and modern models are not only intrinsically interesting, but also illuminate enduring problems in the use and abuse of models. So we're getting some harmonic drop, some tone drop. He said a new holographic model of the mind. What does it mean? What does it mean? What's it got to do with the mind bone, man? What's it got to do with the mind bone? And they even said, and again, we're going to get back on these damn dams and Prester 85. Yeah, dig. We're going to take our time with this drop as well here, man, digging on the footprints of the Archangel Gabriel. Now look at this, man. I mean, just right quick. I can't make this up. The angel Gabriel came to earth in 1819. All right, so while Gabriel came to earth in 1819, what was the real knockers doing in 1819? Because it's the same angel Gabriel, and I believe there's 2 different Gabriels, just like there's 2 different Enochs, but we'll get that. 1819, my niggas, Seminole Wars, man. Seminole Wars, man. It's still all happening with us, man, in 1819, man. But their angel Gabriel comes, landed in the backyard of George Rapp. George was a bearded, blue-eyed prophet, okay, and the leader of a religious commune in what was then called Harmony, Indiana. I'm looking for the mountain of harmony, right? For the dismount, man. Get some sleep. I'm going to sleep good, knowing that we got this drop, guy. I'm going to sleep good knowing that you got the drop. Managa, we are looking for the sacred mountain, the holy mountain of harmony. We're connecting it with Mount Carmel. That's in the neighborhood, right? This holy mountain, Mount Carmel. Managa, we also connecting it, this harmony, right, with this tonologies. And now this Gabriel that pops on the scene in 1819, and he goes to Harmony, Indiana, right? And they got the cube, which brings you back into this thoughthism and this Gabriel situation, right? So George told his people that Gabriel had given him secret divine information as evidence of the visit, a slab of limestone in George's backyard. We just talking that Q. Okay. Receive impressions from a bare feet of Gabriel. So this limestone got Gabriel's paw prints, man, his feet bone, his foot bone on it, who was evidently very lead-footed. Many years have passed since Gabriel's visit. In the early 20th century, the footprints were famous enough to merit their own postcard. Today, the limestone slab with its footprints is still in the backyard. Skeptics, however, don't believe that they were caused by the Archangel landing in Indiana. They say the slab came from St. Louis and that it was purchased by George Rapp's son-in-law. They say the whole Archangel story was invented not by Rapp, but by Rapp's enemies as a way to belittle him and his followers. Okay. All right, my nigga. So they got angelic footprints of Gabriel in New Harmony, Indiana, near the holy mountain of Harmonics that has Mecca and the cube, my nigga. The real one, probably, right? Morocco. And is this why they had to build those grand rapids? Did they have to flood, the cube? Did they have to flood this, Did they have to put something underground? We don't know. We don't know. But they're coming in the name of the Wabash Navigation Company. And we know we got the Wabash River connecting right to the Battle of Tippecanoe and Tecumseh, man. And yeah, we got a lot to get on. I mean, they even got a state park called Harmony State Park. And you know that's a red flag. All that water with them damn dams, all them acres, man. What's underneath these acres, man? What's underneath these damn dams, man? Come on, man. How they gotta, what's the odds, my nigga, for the dismount? What's the odds that this holy mountain of harmonics that we looking for, what's the odds that it could be somewhere in Harmony Park in Indiana, Harmony State Park? Just like Fort Tryon Park Zoo, they got Phineas, man. All right, we got a Harmony Park in the neighborhood. We got a Mount Carmel in the neighborhood. We got a lot in the neighborhood of the Holy Mountain of Harmonics and Morocco, where Tecumseh and them ten sky to HAWah, and then the prophet in Prophetstown, had to take that, really the final L, because that L led to all the other losses, man. When these treaties were made on the top of Tecumseh here, that followed the treaties that were made on top of Dragon Canoe here, now we got Tecumseh, he's trying to rally the tribes, but, the other side made treaties already, right? Come on. It's more and more war. All this is about you. From Mexico to Texas. Managa to the Philippines. To the Philippines, man. It's always been about you. I got my baby popping off when I could only imagine being in this war with they're taking Naga babies, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tecumseh is coming from the hard bone. He said, we can't do this no more, man. We can't let this ride. I don't care how rich you getting. They're doing it on purpose. They're making you rich for a reason. They're taking us out our harmony, taking us out our flow. But we just getting started. Don't even trip. We just getting started. Yeah. Hey, hot to my nagas, we was talking about Acadia, and, I'm going to come in hot in 85 with the Phineas episode, man. We're going to talk about that and just, tie some of these great links up as well. But, all this Acadia drought that we've been talking about, Acadia National Park, look up Acadia National Park. It used to be a dragon preserve, but, Acadia's right here, right? It's right, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Acadia, right? America, Acadia, But Acadia is very fascinating. Because when you talk Acadia, man, depending on how you spelling it, just like with Mount Carmel, you're talking Acadia, you're talking Acadian Empire. Love to my naga that dropped this in the comments. Forgot your name, but A-hop to you. It's a great thought, this Akkad, Acadia, you put the K's in. Now you're talking Samaria. Now you're connecting it with Egypt, my naga. And now you can really say free Phineas, man. Because Acadian Green Dragon is an Acadian Green Dragon, right? And it's letting you know we're talking America when we talk Acadia. We're talking America. We're talking this India Superior connection, this Levant, this so-called Middle East. You're talking America when you talk Akkad, even in the script, when you're digging on Sargon, Genesis 10, verse 10, the beginning of his kingdom, Nimrod's kingdom, was Babel, Iraq, Akkad, right? Spelled with a C right there. Now we got Acadia. Now we got an Acadian Green Dragon. Now we got Babel. Now we got Mount Carmel, that Elijah's popping off on the prophets of Baal. Hey, welcome to India Superior, Managa, where it's all happening. And, we ain't going to take our sights off of this map right here, love again, to the Ak Minister Informant. And, digging, on so many more of these sites here, digging on Acadia, what I'm saying? We're going to dig on, get more into the Karakatai as we continue our flow. And I got a new book, digging on the mythical Straits of Anion as well to dig on for Prester John installment number 85. My naga, we popping off in the realest way possible. All praise HAWah. We doing it for the babies, doing it for the droplets, because they got the drop. Yeah. We're going to talk some Anion. We're going to talk some Akkad. We're going to have fun in 85, man. We're going to talk some more Tecumseh, man. Get into that flow even more, man. Get into those speeches and just feel the flow, feel the heartbone, and let it all happen. Let it all come together for a night. For the tribe. Halal HaWah. Dawa. For another intercepting point, another crossroads, where X marks the spot, whether we talking Tippecanoe, whether we're talking The intersecting lines. When the Naga comes together and tribes up in the realest way. The intersecting lines of the rivers, the vortexes. This is how you have to see clearly with a dragon flit eye perspective. We got dragons on the wall, continue to support the Khans building the wall for Nagaville, for Joy World. And we ain't gonna let you down, my Naga. We gonna continue. As Tecum say would, as Tecum say should, as a Naga should, for Nagaville. All praise HAWah. Look out for 85. We coming in hot. Stay Zani, my Nagas. Stay up. Suit up. Choose up. HAWah. Shalom to the tribe. Shabbat Shalom. We hit our cross. And we are forever. Dawa Dawa.